Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and this is Sunshine Imagination Adventures. I am in the process of reverse engineering my destination. I realized that the idea and the plan that I had for the garden is X. And I'm going to call that X for now, which is basically the finished product. And the more I work on the garden lately, the more I'm starting to realize, oh, the garden's actually getting right where I want it. It's precisely where I want it. And suddenly I'm looking at it going, well, now what do I do? And I noticed myself not self-sabotaging, but I noticed myself, maybe it was self-sabotage. Maybe it was a type of self-sabotage where I was diverting, slowing down, procrastinating. Maybe it was self-sabotage where I'm going, well, now what do I do? So instead of trying to push myself along, and I could feel myself sinking into a little bit of a depression. And those are all red flags between the derailment. That's what it is. I want to say it's derailing. It's the same feeling I'm getting. This is a funny one. It's the same feeling I'm getting when I'm reading a book and I know I'm down to the last. It is the exact same feeling I got when I was reading Harry Potter book 7. It was like, it's coming to an end. I know there will be no more. Savor it. So I deliberately postponed the last few chapters of Harry Potter book 7, knowing that I was at the end. And then I read the last chapter and deliberately did not read the epilogue, knowing I've got this last bit. And I even contemplated waiting 20 years to finish the last epilogue of Harry Potter book 7 because it says 20 years later. And I'm like, you know what? Real time that shit. And I thought about that. Like I was trying to find a way to savor it. So it's that same feeling of just I can feel it coming to an end. And it's really the okay, now what? So I've got all these red flags in me right now going off telling me I need to stop, step back and assess. So this is me assessing. This is me doing my own psych work on myself. I can feel the end where I'm no longer hustling to get the garden right where I need it. Now it's in place. It's in place. And that's this feeling of finality to it. I've been working nonstop at this since August of 2021. Or I'm sorry, August of 2022. And I finally have everything in place so that now it's just a matter of enjoying. And I feel this massive confusion. Like, I don't know what to do next. Like, oh my God, if I'm not pushing the garden, then what? And I'm not pushing the garden. I don't have to push the garden anymore. So I'm going, okay, now what? And it was this massive step back. I it felt like I was giving myself over to the universe, going, I trust you, you're taking care of everything. And as soon as I did that, like there were levels that I did that. But yesterday it was this feeling of, yeah, you got this. And suddenly I realized everything is already in place. I don't have to do anything. It's on autopilot now. It's on automatic. And I realized that my day consists of doing a podcast. And by the time 10 a.m. rolls around, the podcast is done. And then I've got my clients, and that's pretty much it. And then Tuesdays, tomorrow night, I have my workshop. And that's pretty much it. And then yesterday I got this message from about D&D about doing a campaign. So I have meetings now and I do networking events. And I'm just looking at all of it going, wow, the people who I'm networking with come to me at this point. The people who I work with, they come to me. So I don't have to go looking for the people. That's actually one of the things I manifest is magnetize my opportunities. That's one of the things I do. Literally is I magnetize my opportunities. So instead of me looking for the opportunity, they fall in my lap. And because I magnetize my opportunity, there's nothing for me to do. It comes to me. And in point of fact, that's what I've been doing now for the last for a while now, is just having opportunities fall into my lap. So I'm looking at all of this going, okay, what do I do now? If this is my life, if this is my work schedule, what do I do with all this added work? And I thought about, well, what do I want to do? And that was really a wow, what do I want to do? And I it's this really weird feeling like there's an urgency that comes with a message or a calling. And with that urgency is this feeling like you've got to ram it down people's throats. And I don't even feel that. I mean, I haven't felt that in a year because I'm out of the patriarchy. So suddenly this intense, oh my God, you got to know what I'm doing. It's gone. It's like people will find it. People will find it. So my urgency, everything has just chilled and laxed. And now I'm going, all right, so I'm planning Burning Man. I'm putting together my camp in February. So I have September, October, November, December. Well, I'm going to do this. October, November, December, January, February. So I have 5 months to organize and plan everything I'm doing for Burning Man. All right. All right. I have a talk coming up in December. I have Manifestation Day coming up. Yeah, I'd like to do manifestation classes. Yeah, I definitely want to do more light work. And it feels really weird because this is literally my agenda. Like, oh, I love doing the D&D. The D&D is definitely going to stay. And that has this added benefit of being able to talk about literally using Dungeons and Dragons to really bring in psychology and go through the shadow self. Oh my God, yes. And I'm definitely like, there's so much with that I want to do. I'm so excited about that because, yeah. And there's so much opportunity there. There's so much opportunity. And now that I'm sitting here going, do I really want to do public speaking? And I'm going, I'm not hunting down stages. I'm not hunting down stages. And it's funny because I'm already seeing it where I've got people knocking on my door. I don't have to make an effort. People are finding me. And that's what I manifest. People find me. So I don't have to do the work. They come to me. I don't have to do the work. And I've got emails where people are coming in saying, I want to talk to you. I want you. They will find me. I don't go to them. And that's one of the things that I notice. And going back to the light work, yeah, I want to talk a lot about that. And it, it's it's interesting because it's I see so many people manifesting money, manifesting what they want, and then they have to do all of this stuff to track it down. And I'm going, that's not smart manifestation. Why are you chasing the money when you can just magnetize it and have the people you need come to you? So I manifest things like I want to be in the right place at the right time to draw in the right people. Show me which path I need to be to meet the right people to land where I need to land with me doing little to nothing because they find me. And it's working. It's extraordinary. And I'm going, okay. And like I said, I have these opportunities now where I have things together. I have people and everyone is telling me, and I noticed this yesterday. It was something somebody said to me was, oh, you can't make money unless you. And Every time you hear the words, you can't unless you, that is actually them manifesting your failure. Let's talk about that. That is it right there. And I was talking to this neuroscientist, Maury, and he was explaining that when you're working with positive affirmations and manifestation, he's like, I am statements are the worst things. They do nothing for positive affirmations. Now, that being said, I am statements are fantastic for self definition for other parts of psychology. So, not for positive affirmations, but for that. So that's a whole nother topic. So I'm going to set that aside. But he's talking about you can't. He's like, you statements are much more powerful for affirmations. And then you have this third party saying to you, you can't do X unless you do X. And that's box thinking again. And I noticed it yesterday and I'm going, the only reason why I think I have to DM people on Facebook to get clients is because somebody else told me that that's the only way. And that's not right. That's their way of doing it. That's not my way of doing it. And I'm sitting here going, I don't even think I want clients. And that's really a big thing of it is the clients I have are phenomenal as far as me learning my craft and polishing my craft. That's where I'm loving my clients is I'm at a stage where I'm able to directly apply triadic healing to persons A, B, and C and watch it unfold. And I'm going, excellent. And I realized I'm not going to be pushing triadic healing so much on my podcast where I have to gorge myself and get it all out. That was the other thing I was doing where I thought I had to completely unload and I'm like, why? I'm just going to pace myself. I'm just going to upload it every week and I'm going to do a little bit every day and it's just more podcasting material where eventually triadic healing will be completely uploaded on my podcast. Not a big deal. And yeah, I realized that again, that comes back to the urgency is gone. And because the urgency is gone, suddenly I'm going, everything just clicked into place. So I'm sitting here looking at manifestation. I'm looking at what I want. I'm looking at my next steps. And with everything all set, with the podcast right where it is, with everything right where it is, it's like, okay, now it's just, I've established my habit. And I realized when I built my world, it was all with this get it set up. And now it's like, okay, it's done. Now just sit down and chill it. So I did my 3 videos this morning and I was like, wow, I feel good. And now I'm sitting here doing this and I worked with my D&D campaign and I'm starting to put that together. And I'm also putting together my Burning Man Love Burn camp and I'm doing Sunshine Imagination Adventures and I'm putting that together. And it's all about getting down and setting dates for stuff. And I'm loving that. And I'm loving the event hosting. And I'm starting to get into that more. And I'm like, all right. And I definitely am going to be focusing a lot more on the light work manifestation. I usually do that on weekends, but I'm going to do it during the week now, I think. And it's really weird because not only do I have all this time, but I have all of this energy. And I think that's what I'm feeling. I often talk about how I don't feel the feeling of overwhelm. And what I have is the opposite. I have a feeling of underwhelm. Like I have so much time and so much energy and I'm going, wow. And it's insane. So I'm trying to think, well, what would you do if you didn't have to work? What would you do? And that's really the question. If you did not have to work, if money was just all over the place and you were set, what would you do? And like even traveling, I would totally podcast the travels. I would totally be like, here I am. And I'm going to be doing this when I get into traveling. I'm going to be absolutely podcasting my travels and reporting in from different locations. But now I'm looking at things like doing my talks. And it's more of yeah, I think I would like to do public speaking. I would like to do it, but I'm not going to do the work of hunting it down. And I don't have to. It's coming to me. It's already coming to me. And I've got people going, well, you need this. You need a keynote. You need this. And I'm going, I haven't done anything. And I've already got people like knocking at my door. So do I really have to do anything? And this concept that you have to work hard to get money. And that's really, really what I'm contending with. The idea that you have to work hard to get money. No, you don't. You have to work smart if you know how to use manifestation. And if you know how to use manifestation effectively, then no, you don't have to work hard at all. And I'm huge on come up with the idea and the dream and then go down from there. And I'm looking at my triadic healing. Technically, my triadic healing is already on my podcast. It's all there. Now I'm just organizing it. Now I'm just pulling out my favorite parts and I'm putting it together. But actually, if you look at the syllabus, everything that I'm about to talk about over the next couple weeks, while I go through this, has already been talked about. I'm just articulating it now that I'm at a different perspective to basically present it in a sharper, cleaner presentation. And the thing is, once my podcast goes up in quality again, then I'm probably going to have somebody knocking at my door again saying, hey, we want you to actually professionally record this. So it's like, it's interesting because more and more I'm looking at all of it and I'm going, yeah, what would I do? And I've got my partner saying, you could write. And I'm like, yeah, if the whim hits me, I would definitely write. And I think that's just what I'm feeling is this massive underwhelm of I have a very, very light work schedule. And because all the opportunities are automatically flowing to me, there's very little for me to do on a regular basis. And I'm just looking at it going, wow, this is a different way of living. This is definitely very, very different. And with manifestation, there's a lot of focus on what do you want? And it's so hard to just strip everything away, getting right down to the bare, naked want. Because we have all of these, well, I need and I have to, and people want. And it's so hard just stripping down the nakedness of what do you want? And it's like, this reminds me of Ayn Rand. She had a sister. And when she left Russia, she left it in a very, the words, she escaped Russia. And she had to leave behind a fiance, not a fiance, a love interest that she was more than happy to give up. She had to leave behind a sister and her parents, knowing she would never see them again. And then when she got to America, she changed her name to Ayn Rand because she knew that she was going to be famous. And she knew that Russia would track down her family once they figured this out. So she deliberately changed her name to protect her family. And after living in America for 60 years, Russia's borders changed and her sister was finally able to visit. So here is two women, both born in Russia, Ayn Rand and her sister. And Ayn Rand had been living in America for her entire life now. Since she was 20 years old, she'd been living in the States. And her sister, at like 65 years old, finally came over from Russia to spend time with her sister. And it was the first time they were meeting in America in like 40 years, 40 to 50 years. And they go to the grocery store together. And Ayn Rand's sister has a full breakdown, massive breakdown. She is so overwhelmed by the amount of choices available in toothpaste that she can't process it. And her brain goes into overload and she goes, I don't understand. I can't make a decision. And she shuts down mentally because the government tells you in Russia what to do. They tell you which toothpaste you're going to use. They tell you which brand of milk you're going to use. There are no brands. They tell you what you're going to do. So here she is in America for the first time, and she has to choose between consumer products. And the decision is so overwhelming because we have so many options in the United States that she goes into a full panic attack and shuts down. And there's like a whole lot of psychology there. I've analyzed that mindset so much. It's basically scarcity mindset put into hyperdrive. But that's where we're at. That is exactly it, is you're so used to scarcity mindset of, oh my God, I can't have what I want. I've got to please people. I've got to do my job. I've got to live. I've got to survive. Ooh, let's get right into that one. What I want, I have to please people and survive. And that's really it, is I've shed the people pleasing. And I, not completely though, I can still feel that conflict because it's this, well, what my partner think of this? And it's like, chill, just turn it off. And it's the last little tail end of it. And every time I heal, every time I chip off just a little bit more of the societal expectations, I find another layer underneath. And I definitely feel like I have never gotten, I feel like I've gotten as far as anyone's ever gotten with this. And I'm like peeling back these layers and I'm going, wow, this is true authenticity. And now I'm just sitting here enjoying my work day. There is no work day. It's not even there. I can't even call it that anymore because I'm up at 6 a.m. From 6 a.m. to about 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 10 o'clock, 3 to 4 hours a day. I do my podcasts, if you can even call that work. And then I'm done. And I'm going, all right, this is awesome. I'm set. And I have meetings lined up, but yeah, it was I knocked them out and I'm like, all right, now what do I do? And I'm just sitting here like, all right, I composed this D&D game. I've got this meeting with this CEO podcaster later this week to start setting that up. So I'm going to do live broadcasts. That is going to give me so much reach and so much, oh my God, because between my oral stories, my ability to tell story, the fiction writing, all of this, all of my skills, talents coming together, it's going to do so much for me. And I'm just like, wow, I don't have to do anything. So when you take that much off your plate, it's this bare nakedness of, wow, people pleasing is gone and I don't have to survive. And we resist abundance. We're talking about manifestation, and there is such an ingrained resistance to abundance. And this is it, an abundance of time, an abundance to a lifestyle. And Abraham Hicks, all manifestors talk about, well, you have to sit yourself right in the middle of just abundance. Pretend you already have it. Imagine it's already yours. Now, to do this, to put yourself in that mindset, it's a total release of people pleasing and scarcity. And it's like, wow. I watched this interview that Oprah did with J.K. Rowling once. Oh my God, it was amazing to watch. It was Oprah interviewing J.K. But the way the conversation unfolded, it did not feel like an interview. It felt like two women who both started off in significant poverty were having this conversation just from peer to peer. And it was amazing. Oprah asked JK a question, and JK replied with, well, how do you feel about that? And she turned it on her. And Oprah opened up as if she was being interviewed. No one interviews Oprah. It was amazing to watch. And the question was, do you ever feel like with how much money you have that you can never get away from that scarcity mindset, that you can never get out of that poverty mindset? And JK's response was, well, is that how you feel? And Oprah was like, yeah. She's like, there are days, this is amazing to hear. Oprah said there are days, she's like, I feel like I have to be careful not to spend too much at the grocery store or the money will run out. And JK laughed and she's like, I feel the same way. Like, oh my God, I have to make sure I don't spend more than $50 at the grocery store or else. And these women are billionaires. But it's so deeply ingrained into their mindset of poverty. Here they were. Now, JK at that time was new to the wealth. But Oprah, she was not new to the wealth. And she was still talking exactly the same way JK was, even though there was like 30 years gap in their wealth. 30 years of, here Oprah had 30 years with this wealth, whereas JK Rowling only had a couple years with it. And both women were just as frugal and scared to spend even a few dollars. And I'm terrified that I'm going to be that way, that you'll never get out of the scarcity, that it follows you even though it's no longer a reality. And it's extraordinary because we're trying to imagine something that's out of our reach, that hasn't happened yet. And that's all manifestation does, is put yourself in your future's place. Imagine you are already in your future and be there. Create the future in your present moment. And that really is it. is create your entire present as if you're already in the future enjoying the abundance. And it's a very from the dream down kind of a setup rather than building from the ground up. And it's a very backwards way of approaching business. It's a very backwards way of approaching life. And it's a lot faster. It is so much faster to do it this way because you're manifesting half of the stuff to just fall into your lap. Whereas before, while you're thinking about the future, you're building and you're not working smart. You're absolutely working yourself ragged. And it's absolutely extraordinary to watch it unfold like this, where I'm still it's still I almost want to say it's surreal, but does that undo the manifestation if you're gawking over the surrealism of it? And at the same time, I'm looking at it going, I've already done my work. I just spent the last 40 years of my life surviving, digging, clawing, scraping. It's time to enjoy and sit back and just allow it to come to you now. And that's exactly where I am. And then there's a lot of people with wealth where they're saying the only setback is inconsistency. It's the people who don't show up every day that never get anywhere. And that's what a lot of people do is they'll push and they'll do that urgency and then they'll burn out. So it's this massive trying to figure out if you had all the time and all the money, what would you do if you were royalty sitting on your butt without any obligation? What would you do? And it's so bizarre, but it's like I would play for a living. That's what I would do. There you go. I would play for a living. I would play D&D for a living. Absolutely. I would take the world of Dungeons and Dragons and use it to teach people psychology in a play atmosphere. Holy fuck, would I do this? Because it's a fun play atmosphere and I could easily walk you through psychological scenarios to present you with everything you need to work through your trauma and teach you self empowerment. I'm going to do this. Holy shit, am I going to do this? And it's something I never even thought of again until this guy contacted me yesterday saying, my CEO wants to talk to you. And I'm going, yes, let's do this. And I'm thinking, this is a career? Let's do this. And it's so unique. It's so fucking out there. Like D&D meets psychology meets let's do some self-empowering shit. And I'm getting excited about this. Like, holy shit, this is going to be so much fun. And that's the delusion. That's the is it a trap? Is it a trap? Because it's fun. It must be a trap. Don't trust it because it's a trap. Because it's fun. And the patriarchy grew us all up going, are you miserable? Good. Being miserable builds character. You know you're done it right when you're miserable. And it's just this backwards mentality. And I'm going, am I going to really end up playing Dungeons and Dragons for a living? Really? Am I really going to end up doing this? Hell yeah, fuck yeah, I am. And I'm going, what would stop me? Like, and I'm going, well, and I'm planning this out now. This is where I needed to be. This is where I'm trying to get to. How would I do this so that when I have this crazy ass event come up, like a healing resort getaway, I'm totally doing my healing resort getaways. I'm like, what would that look like? No, I'm doing it. I'm doing my healing resorts. I have a cruise ship coming up in March. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do a full healing resort. Yeah, this is what I want to do. Like it keeps coming back to those healing resorts. And I can feel it all clicking into place. And I'm just like, wow. And more, I'm looking at the idea of doing one-on-one clients. And I might do 2 or 3, but it's not, oh no, what I would much rather do are the healing resorts. I would do the Dungeons and Dragons game. Oh, I'm totally doing that. And oh my God, it just, so I'm looking more going, well, would I bother with the public speaking? Yeah, if they knock on my door, I would accept the invitation. And that's just it. And that's the other thing is I have a couple people who are knocking on my door. I get a collection of them where they're saying it would be an honor if you would. And I'm like, absolutely. and like the one I have in December coming up. But then I have sales calls. And the sales calls are like, oh, well, if you spend X amount of dollars, and I'm like, excuse you. Do you understand that I'm getting calls from people inviting me to be an honorary guest for free and they're paying my ticket so that I'll show up and you want me to pay you sales? Like, not even on the same page. It's like, why are you wasting our times? And it's this sudden realization that this is my life. This is my life, and it's so fucking weird, and it's wonderful, and I think that's what I'm dealing with is the culture shock of, yeah, the life that they told you you couldn't have, well, here it is, and it's happening. And yeah, it just got even more fun because now you are literally doing a Dungeons and Dragons game for fun. And I was thinking about my Love Burn camp. Oh yeah, totally fucking doing that. And I'm looking at it going, "Oh my god, I have to plan and prepare. Well, I can do this. I can do this. Oh, I'm totally going to turn this into one of my weekend resorts. Holy fuck yeah, it's going to be one of my weekend resorts. What the fuck am I worried about this? I know how to plan events. It's going to be one of my weekend resorts where I'm doing meditation and I'm leading people in some of my workshops. Oh yeah, it's going to be totally fun. And then when I'm in between, we're going to get high and it's going to just be Anna's Lounge where we just sit and hypothesize life. I'm looking forward to Love Burn. And I'm going, oh yeah, definitely. Like the whole I can feel it. I can just feel it all clicking into place. And it's so fucking surreal. And now it's just me going, okay, because your schedule is so light. Like it's the weirdest thing. So when I was working a day job back when I was in the patriarchy, I was married at the time. This is when I was at the height of me being a shut-in. It was actually right after. It wasn't at the height. It was after I had started therapy. About 2 or 3 years after I started therapy, I got into Dungeons and Dragons where I was able to have people over and I was able to host the Dungeons and Dragons things. And I ended up I had my day job online and then I had the people there. And I remember getting so frustrated because my day job was interfering with my Dungeons and Dragons plotting and campaign creating. And here I am now going, I have the entire day to create campaigns. I don't need anybody to get in my way. Like this is solid. So I'm feeling fantastic about it. I'm feeling really fucking good about this. I need to apparently you can charge people to join your game. So I'm going to be looking at that at I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait on that because yeah, I don't know. But it feels really surreal that all of this is falling together. And I think I'm just in culture shock right now because I had a moment this morning where I went, wow, is this really your life? All right. All right. This is awesome. So it's just meditation, chilling, relaxing. I'm going to go see somebody on Wednesday. And it's just breathe in and breathe out. And it's what was hard for me was getting up every day at 6 o'clock, putting on muggle clothes. Muggles, that's the word I need. Putting on muggle clothes and then driving my car into 2 hours of traffic while I get to work, and then sitting in an office while someone else tells me what to do. And then that is what was fucking hell for me. And I just, that was hard. And hearing, oh, well, being an entrepreneur is hard. No, it's not. The hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is telling everyone else to shut up and leave you the fuck alone. So it's that realization of own it, claim it. Work is not hard. I need to rephrase it because work literally is just doing something without pleasure. That's what work means, doing something without pleasure. And it's play. Wrapping my head around the idea that I play for a living. Wow. And this idea that people are like, oh, well, you have to get yourself heard above all the noise. So I see all these people scrambling and screaming over each other. That's how I view social media. A lot of people just screaming and shouting over each other. And I'm looking at them going, no, no, your product isn't good enough if you're all screaming over each other because the product can stand on its own feet. And that's it's this really solid, peaceful existence of it feels like I'm permanently on holiday now. And I'm going, wow, all right. Now I just need to manifest the rest of the pieces into place. It's just time. And I think that's it, is now that all the dominoes are set, it is exactly what I've been waiting for. Now all the dominoes are set up. I'm going, the work is done. Okay. This is what I want, universe. Now deliver. I'm good. So I'm relaxing now into this role. I've accepted it. And I noticed that anywhere from 7 o'clock at night to 3 o'clock in the morning, I have new podcast ideas, and I get up and I load the videos and I'm like, here they are. And today I noticed I love telling you what the schedule was about. Like, hey, these are the topics I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk a lot about more on manifestation. That's going to be a lot of my focal point. I have more videos coming up over the next couple days on triadic healing. Those will be uploaded. The syllabus is located over on my website. And I'm cutting a lot of this down, simplifying it. Triadic healing is going to be having triliminals. They are being put together by my friend, Maury, who is creating subliminal messaging to literally reverse the polarity of your subconscious mind from negative thinking over to positive thinking. I am strategically writing up positive affirmations and having this neuroscience embed them into his product so that it's extraordinary what he's doing. And while I do that, I'm also going to be working on eliminating toxic beliefs. So while you're having these positive affirmations going in your head, you're also going to be removing the toxic beliefs that cause the mental illness. And when those are partnered up with triadic healing, it'll just click. And that's really what I'm doing, is I'm fine tuning triadic healing. I'm like, all right, here it is. Now let's see if I can get this down even more. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to do like my user's guide for the subconscious mind. That's coming out. Yeah, I think I'm going to write my book. I feel like Bilbo Baggins at the end. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to go live with the elves now and write my book. Yes, that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons for a living. And oh my God, yes. And I'm going to negotiate terms with this podcaster to get me live. And my favorite part about that conversation was he was explaining that they're going to have people on staff to do the moderating for me. So I can focus on the game while people are chiming in. And I get to just, okay, let's turn this into a theater, people. And oh my God, I'm so looking forward to it. And you know what? That satisfies me on such a level that I don't think I need the public speaking anymore. I can totally do like all the parts. This is why I love DMing, is I get to be all the NPCs. And if you're wanting to join one of my games, go ahead and grab the link below. I'm setting it all up, and I have a Facebook group where you can just jump in. But yeah, I'm taking it away from the healing aspect of the drudgery. I do have that still, of course, with triadic healing, but I'm not there. I'm at the celebration of life stage. And yeah, it's this beautiful marriage of just everything falling into place. And it was yesterday and today where I realized, wow, this thing just clicked right into place. The pieces are set. The die is cast. And I'm like, all right, I get to just enjoy life. Holy shit. I think I'm going to read my book Broken on my podcast, because that's something I've been wanting to do. I'm going to do that. Maybe I will do that next. Yes, I'm going to read chapter 1 of Broken, because what else am I going to do? This is fun. Oh my God, I love my life. All right, I'm going to shut this down, take a short break, and then I'm going to come back. It's like I have my own television show, and the channel is me. And it's everything I need and want for triadic healing, and all focused on how to make you happy, because I love doing this shit. And I'm going to read Broken because I want to read Broken. Thank you so much. If you love shit like this, like, subscribe, follow below, comment, let me know which part of the show resonated with you, share it with someone if you know they can use any of this information, and donate to the garden, help the garden grow on the Linktree account. It's a full menu of all the shit I do. Take a look and sign up for my field trips for adults, because they're awesome. Thank you so much, and may the kindest of words always find you.